Hey, y'all, listen. I thought I was going to be hanging out here by myself tonight, but I decided to come through. It's late. But I was running errands today. It's the weekend. I had some errands to run. So I went, got my nails done, got a manicure, got a pedicure, got back, had to eat a little something, and said, let me come through and talk to the people because we got some stuff to talk about. I'm cleaning my glasses as I try to talk to y'all. So we got stuff to talk about, people. Yes, we do. So tonight's title is called Broke, Wild, and Tested. Broke, wild, and tested. So Dame Dash filed for bankruptcy. $25 million in the hole. How are you a partner, a founding partner for Roc-A-Fella, and Jay-Z is a billionaire, and you don't have a dime to your name? It's sad. I ain't judging him for filing bankruptcy, but I am judging him for not going out there trying to get another job and do something different because he realized that, listen, the money is not coming in anymore. He's claiming that his monthly income is zero. How are you eating dinner at night? Is your current fiance financing everything? It's crazy. But we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about Charlie Sheen. What I like about Charlie Sheen, well, one, he has a memoir. Got a memoir coming out. The Book of Sheen, I think it's called. I don't know. We'll get to it. So he has a memoir coming out. And he talks about, his days when he was not sober. And he admitted to the fact that when he was not sober, he was sleeping with women, men, and everything in between. And he said at first he was paying to hide the truth. But now he decided to just let the truth be free. You know what? The truth will save you. Shal Rahim, yes, Dame Dash had the nerve to be giving his daughter money advice on Next Gen NYC, and he broke. But that's why she got kicked out of her apartment too, because she was getting advice from the daddy, the broke daddy. But you know what? Secrets keep you sick. And that's why I like Charlie Sheen, because he's letting it all hang out. He's telling his truth. And I really believe that if Diddy would have just stopped trying to hide what he liked and just told his truth, walking around here like Kanye West, just living in his truth, whatever that is, he might have never got locked up. But anytime you try to hide something, it's a price to pay. So we're going to talk about Charlie Sheen. Woo! Then we're going to talk about that cheerleader from the University of Kentucky. She dropped out of school. But guess what? Now they testing the boyfriends. I think they testing the one that was the current boyfriend and the ex-boyfriend because they trying to see who's the daddy. They doing a Maury Povich out here. They collecting the DNA. And I think it is the most recent boyfriend. He deleted all his social media. Because he knew the people were probably going to come up in the comments. Was you helping her? Was it your baby? Did you know she was pregnant? If you was currently still with her and still sleeping with her, how could you not know she was pregnant? Sure, that baby was kicking at some point. We're going to talk about it because they're testing the baby. You want to know what's wild? I feel like somebody had to help her. That's number one. I do feel that way, that she got help. But I feel like because they're trying to act like to us that they have no clue how the baby was born dead or alive. But I think they're collecting this DNA. And I wonder if they're going to blame the father. We're going to stay connected to this story, but we'll talk about this most recent update. So it's late. I ain't going to yap much because y'all know my opening monologue. I could be yapping all day long. I'm going to cut it short because it's late. It's the late train. This is Saturday night late train. So y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It's Saturday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Broke, Wild, and Tested. We got Dame Dash filing for bankruptcy. We got Charlie Sheen. He coming out with his memoir. He said, yes, I slept with men, I slept with women. What? Okay. And we got the cheerleader. They want the DNA. They want to know who the father is. And once they find out who this father is, they're going to start to questioning him. We're going to talk about, let me bring the people on in. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Julius. Thank you for jumping on the late train, people. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, y'all, hit the like button.
Come on now. Tell the people hit the like button. You got to work, okay? Yes. Okay. All right. So let's get into this, okay? Let's get into this. And I think my first story I'm going to do is let's go ahead and get this Dame Dash out the way because, you know, he's saying he pretty much ain't got a dime to his name. You know, my problem is that then sir, go to work. Go to work. But he also claimed he got all these medical issues. But, you know, he's another one, a little delusional because he has on his site that on his Instagram that he's a CEO of himself. Well, you need to fire yourself because you're a bad CEO if you now are filing for bankruptcy. Okay, so here we go. Let me just pull up this story here. It's coming through. It's coming through. All right. So fallen rap mogul and former Jay-Z partner Dame Dash owes $25 million in debt, files for bankruptcy, the report said. So ex-Jay-Z partner and Roc-A-Fella Records co-founder Damon Dash, who has long struggled financially, is $25.3 million in debt and has filed for bankruptcy, court records show. The 54-year-old fallen music producer has only a measly $4,350 to his name, according to the Chapter 7 bankruptcy documents. Dash owes nearly $19.8 million in debts to the government and $648,000 in domestic support, including hundreds of thousands of dollars to his ex-wife, Rachel Roy, with whom he shares daughter Ava, 25, and Tallulah, 17. See, you know, that's the other thing, too, with these men. You want to go out here spreading your seed everywhere, and then you owe all this child support, and you talk about you ain't got a dime to your name. Now, this jacket, not for nothing, it don't look vintage to me. So you still shopping, but you ain't got no money? Well, I digress. Let's carry on. He also owes Cindy Morales, the mother of his son Lucky, 21, and Linda Williams, mom to his son Boogie, 33. The records filed Thursday in Florida revealed. Now your kids is grown. You know, it's sad when your kids is grown, and you still owe child support. The court documents put the washed-up rap mogul's monthly income at zero and said he does not own any homes, cars, household appliances, or electronics besides a $500 cell phone. His only other personal assets included 2 pals valued at $750, $500 worth of clothes and jewelry valued at $2,500, plus $100 cash. Dash, who co-founded Roc-A-Fella Records with famed Brooklyn rapper Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs Burke in 1994, said he was owed a possible but unknown amount of money from Burke in court documents. Dash and Jay-Z reportedly had a falling out over finances in years since making hits as Hard Knock Life and 99 Problems in the 1990s and early 2000s. Well, you know what? Probably because way back then he realized that Dame Dash was not good with the finances. Dash posted a video to Instagram September 4th, the same day he filed for bankruptcy, talking about his health struggles and spending time with his 4-year-old son he shares with fiance Rachel Horn, according to people.com. Listen, Rachel, good luck to you because she must be paying for everything. He's opened up about his financial woes on social media previously, the outlet reported, citing on August 2024 video in which he said he was curious to see how it all rolls out. Somebody asked me how I got so broke, investing in my dreams. When you're investing in your dreams and you dream big, you always going to be broke, he reported in the clip. Now that's a lie. I don't know where he got that from. When you investing in your dreams and you dream big, you always going to be broke. No, Jeff Bezos invested in his dreams, Amazon, and he's not broke. The new court filings came just a few months after fallen music producer was told by Manhattan federal court judge to either pay the $1 million he owed creditors or wind up behind bars. Now, you know what? He owes the government a lot of money. It's funny. There's people that owe the government less money, and I don't want to see the brother go to jail. But there's people that owe the government less money, and they locked up. How he's still walking free? I'm just asking a question. The foreign music producer allegedly sought to evade paying out a pair of judgments handed down in the Big Apple by hiding money, destroying evidence, and refusing to comply with court orders. Dash allegedly attempted to dodge paying a nearly $900,000 in one lawsuit, a defamation claim brought by filmmaker Josh Reber, by slow-walking demands to reveal his access since a jury found him guilty back in 2022. If defendants fail to comply, the court will find defendants in contempt and may issue an arrest warrant for Mr. Dash. The judge in that case wrote in an April ruling. Another Manhattan federal judge ruled that Dash had destroyed financial evidence that was highly relevant to current and future litigation in a separate lawsuit case brought against him by jilted author Edwina Brooks, who claimed Dash fraudulently hid funds to dodge paying her a nearly $100,000 judgment in an earlier case. In November, New York State brought up Dash 1/3 share in Roc-A-Fella Records at an auction for $1 million in an effort to collect the $8.7 million he owes in back taxes. A lawyer and representative for Dash did not immediately respond to requests for a comment. You know, and I think he got ripped off. For Roc-A-Fella to only be worth $1 million in an auction, I think it should have been worth more. But listen, this is the light. When you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes, they love to say. Savannah, your thoughts?
How many years has Damon been crying broke? And this is the same sad, tired song that we have heard from him for years now. I'm just, sir, you're just bad with money. Because I remember we covered that story where they auctioned off his shares in Roc-A-Fella, but I thought it was to pay the back child support, some of the taxes, and there was something about a film issue that he was being sued about. I think it was copyright infringement or something that he was involved in. That I think the sale of his shares in Roc-A-Fella were covered, and then he only walked away with $1 million. I believe. I don't know. I had to look it up and see if that's what it was. But I remember something like that it offsetted what he owed in some taxes, some child support, and something about a film that he did, but he still was able to walk because he had made a comment that he was a proud, broke, rich person in an interview. So sir, you're just awful with money. You are the problem is you with all these issues that and Jay-Z was correct to getting you away from the financial aspects of Roc-A-Fella and everything that was going on with them. But I just, sir, the problem is you. He doesn't know the value of money, how to handle money, and now and that was just a few years ago. And here we are, you're $25 million in debt in a couple years. Investing in you is not the way to go. I'm sorry. He's just awful. He's an awful businessman. He's worse than 47. he's just, this is sick, because now it's just now stupid. Now this, I don't get it. I don't understand what he's doing. Filing Chapter 7, and you're that much in debt. And then, you didn't teach your children the value of money. I've only seen 1 or 2 episodes of that show, but I do recall that him having financial talks with his daughter when you're struggling yourself. As you said, Diva, that jacket, the chain, he wears several chains when he does these interviews. So he's just bad with money. He doesn't like paying his bills. That's what I see. So I don't know why they have the opportunity to file for bankruptcy. There should be something where he should have to pay. I got to pay my taxes. Well, how does he get to offset his? So it's same old song from Dame Dash since 2022 before COVID. We've been hearing this, and we'll hear it again. So
Well, unless they mess around and he get locked up over these taxes. I mean, because what's the name? Peter Thomas from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He ain't know that much, and they locked him up. I don't understand how they let him get this off. I'm not saying I want to see bars, but I don't get it.
I agree, and that's what I'm like. I don't get it. This is, it's a joke to him. He has no respect for the value of money, and he continues making bad business decisions or whatever he's doing. He shouldn't have that right to continuously write him off. I think that maybe some jail time is what he needs. We've been hearing this same broke song for years. I don't know what woman will get with him and then have a child too. This man ain't got no money.
Thank you. So Too Good to Leave You Now. She said Roc-A-Fella is only valuable to Jay-Z and Kareem. Its business asset is reasonable doubt, and he can't touch it without Jay-Z and Kareem's consent. It is worthless to anybody else. So New York State overpaid. Good gosh almighty. Well, there you have that. Julius, your thoughts? More better said, just pray for the man. Yeah, we could pray for him, but you know what they said, prayer without works, but faith without works is dead.
That
we
part
can pray
right
for
there.
him all day long, but he got to get out there, put his boots on the ground, and work.
Come on now.
Because Rachel, the fiance, if he's telling the truth, I guess she paying for everything.
And
good
Rachel
luck to her. Go ahead, Julius.
And Rachel gonna be sick and tired sometime soon. Because when a woman get fed up, she get fed up, okay? And Damon Dash is a whole grown man. A whole grown man. And Diva, like you just said, faith without work is dead. And I don't care if Jay-Z was being petty or not. My point is this. Damon Dash should have had his own accounting in order. He should have had his own everything in order. That's on him and him alone. And he has to man up and take responsibility for that. That's it.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey chat. I'm just gonna say what the great Karen Hughes said. In order to owe millions, you have to make millions. You can't owe millions if you don't make millions. And my thing is, I think Jay-Z did him a little dirty. Maybe because Aaliyah was with Damian Dash and Jay-Z wanted her first. I really do believe because Damian Dash was the one that helped Jay-Z elevate it to where he is. So I really do think he did him a little dirty. But I don't even think that man is broke. We have a lot of people don't put their money in the bank. They want you to think that they're broke, so they won't have to pay out anything. And like you said, if he owes all those taxes, we had Wesley Snipes to go to jail for taxes. We had Ronald Isley go to jail for taxes. Lauryn Hill, um, R. Kelly, DMX, all of them. I don't know about R. Kelly, but DMX, all of them went to jail for tax evasion. So, and this man is out walking around doing all this. It's something else to this. Either he paying these taxes, paying on making payment plans or something like that. Because other than that, you can't play with the IRS. Them three little people you cannot play with. IRS, Sally Mae, and what's the other one? The HUD thing, whatever it is. But anyway, I don't really think he's broke. I think he's just hiding that money. I really think he's hiding it. But regardless of the fact he needs to put some implants in instead of the little dentures he had that fell out on the scene. But like I said, I really think
Well, if he
Jay-Z
don't have no money, Katrina, he definitely ain't gonna be able to do no
girl, that man, I'm telling you, that man got money. I don't believe it. I really do believe he got money. I think he doing this so people would think he's broke. Cause like I don't know. I really do. Because we see a lot of people hide their money. We see a lot of people hide their money, takes it out the bank so they won't have to pay these bills. But if that's what he's doing, he need to straighten up because the IRS is coming. They ain't gonna never leave you alone.
No,
But
they
that's
won't.
all I got.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but I don't think he's broke either. He might be Jay-Z broke and Hollywood broke, but I don't think he broke. I think he got outlets or whatever he may be doing or have access to some money. I don't think he's broke like that, but I think he's a user. I think he's a user and has been able to use people all this time. Okay. I'm just not convinced that, you be in this business all this time and you don't have enough sense to put something away. Okay. I don't think he's bad with money. He just doesn't respect it. Okay. Go out, get something on credit. Know darn well you can't afford it. But you don't care. Maybe make the first one or two payments. Then after that, that's not bad with money. That's just respecting and not, you're not even using it. It's almost like stealing. You go out, you all the credit. No, I don't have no money. I'm broke. Okay, but whose problem is that? It's certainly not ours. I mean, I have no sympathy for this man. He's probably had more money than I've ever seen. And then to still have to pay child support is totally ridiculous. At that man's age, still paying child support to somebody. That's it.
Your child 33 and you still owe the baby mother child support. Kelly, your thoughts?
Okay. First of all, I agree with everybody else. This smells of bankruptcy fraud. I don't think he's broke like that. But I also don't think he was ever really a good businessman. I think that he was able to BS people and attach himself to people that were actual business people. And when people figured out his bull crap, he started going downhill because there's no one else to partner with. There's no one else to attach himself with. Everybody made him. Mm-hmm. So they see him coming. They know, like, this dude don't know what he's doing. Now, if you guys recall, there was a show that was just recently aired on Bravo with his daughter on it, where they were supposed to be opening up a slutty vegan location. Mm-hmm. Or the slutty vegan turning it into another restaurant, something like that. Where is that at?
Like a club, restaurant.
Yeah, that show was filmed last year. But the only reason why I know so much about him is because there was a show called Growing Up Hip Hop, but he was on the show more than his children. Him and his fiance, they had a whole storyline show. They're only the show was supposed to be about the kids. So that's the only reason why I know about these people. That fiance is weird. I think her dad is rich. And he already had adult children when she had this baby. So here's another one. Like, what are you doing? Now this man is old. His teeth are falling out his mouth. Next, his health is going to be gone. And then recently, what did he do? He was doing some kind of weird interview with a rag tied around his face with some woman saying she was going to be the white Aaliyah, and it was all this other weirdness. So it's been to me, I feel like this dude is a fast talker. And in the beginning, he was able to fast talk people because people and able to kind of like attach himself to someone that was an actual business person that actually was running the business. But once people realize he's just a fast talker, he's ran out of people to attach himself to. So I don't think he's a real businessman. As far as that whole Roc-A-Fella, all these record companies and labels, the more I look into them, the more it almost kind of seems like they're veiled brand deals. Because it's like, okay, you got Roc-A-Fella Records, but 50% of that is going to Def Jam. But Def Jam is owned by, Universal. So it's like, how much money are you guys even really getting from these labels? Or are these labels just marketing tools? Because that's what it's kind of starting to sound like. The more I dig into it, and Kanye already told you who runs that industry and who has all the money in that industry, and it's not people that look like us. So that, I don't know. I don't think it was worth what we think it was worth. But yeah, he's just a fast talker, and it didn't caught up with him. He probably pushing 60, if not in his 60s, and everybody knows his game now.
I think he's 58. But first of all, the what's the name? The girl was Slutty Vegan. She's going to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta this upcoming season.
Mm-hmm.
But she not good with money either. So ain't that that two of them was connected, and neither one is money. But when I saw that, because I watched that whole thing NYC Next Gen. When I saw that, I took it as they needed someplace to film because the daughter didn't have her own apartment at that time, was whatever was going on with her apartment. And so, he knows the girl who owns Slutty Vegan. Her space was empty, and they let him go in there so they could have a storyline. I never thought they was actually going to be able to open anything, because I'm just like, what are they opening it with? You need
it
money.
Would have been by the time the show aired.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. So yeah, just a whole hot stinking mess. I wish him well, because if he is playing money and playing with money, hiding money, that's a slippery slope also. That's not a good look.
Teresa, he gonna end up like Teresa.
He gonna end up like Teresa. And you playing with the government, like I said, I don't know how they let him get away with this 19 point whatever million that he owe, but it's interesting.
They'll find that money.
Huh?
Well,
they'll find that money when they start looking.
I can tell you why he's not in jail. He probably set up a payment plan. He's like BSing them, and he's gonna do that as long as he possibly can to stay out of jail. But I don't think he's ever gonna have the money there. But I think, unfortunately, he'll probably pass away with this debt.
Oh, good gosh. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and roll into the next story. Let's talk about Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, he's speaking his truth. And one thing you can appreciate is when somebody tell the truth. The truth will set you free. Let me go ahead and share a screen. And he has a book. I'm several books behind in terms of reading them. So I can't say at this moment I'm going to get the Charlie Sheen book. But let's see. Let me back this up. Wait, I think my thing went to. Oh gosh. Okay, here it is. This is the one I want.
I don't know. Charlie Sheen has been making headlines for 40 years, from his hard partying image and show business family to his high-profile relationships and record-breaking salary demands.
There's some things you talk about you've never shared before publicly.
Correct. Yeah.
Now the ultimate Hollywood bad boy is chronicling it all in a new memoir, The Book of Sheen.
Yeah, I am on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen.
What do you think when you look back then? Do you recognize yourself?
I don't know who that is. And that's not a cop-out. Or I don't know what part of me that came from. It's weird. It's like there's a possession going on. I'm like, kind of pleading with that version of me to just, dude, God, stop.
You have any regrets?
I do, but I can't. There's no value in them. And I guess the only way to deal with it is just to not ever do anything or allow myself to wind up in a situation where that's a message I want to send to the world in that capacity. Because there's probably a lot of people out there that still only know me from those viral clips, a guy screaming tiger blood and winning and all this other nonsense, right? And not set the record straight, but say, no, that was a moment in a really long career where things just went off the freaking rails.
From his first major role in the Best Picture winning Platoon,
You ever get caught in a mistake that you just can't get out of?
to becoming the highest paid sitcom star while on 2.5 Men.
Hey, after you drop him off at his mom's, you want to see a movie? Sure, that sounds good. Cool. Enjoy.
Behind the scenes, he indulged in an escalating cascade of drugs and sex.
You are very frank about your sex life.
Right.
From hiring sex workers.
Right.
You testified against Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss. You admitted you spent $53,000 for her services.
Well, that's what they knew of.
Yeah,
that's what they had on the books. So.
But do you think?
Hold on, I'm gonna continue. He's in the streets. He hired sex workers. He was paying Heidi Fleiss for her services, and he said the amount that was just quoted is the amount that they knew about. I'm only bringing that up because Diddy is over there in Brooklyn in the Metropolitan Detention Center on 2 counts of the Mann Act, when darn near everybody in Hollywood is doing the same thing. But I digress, and we're going to continue to listen.
You were a sex addict.
Sure, probably, yeah. I mean, if to frame it like that, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you say sex went hand in hand with your drug use.
It did, yeah.
And wanting to try, as you framed it, quote, other side of the menu, which for some people out there, man, what's the other side of the menu? That's sleeping with men. But you said you're being honest about it now. But why did you keep it secret for so long?
Sure. Yeah. Because there was another element to it that it did come with a tremendous amount of extortion. And so at the time I was just like, all right, let's just pay to keep it quiet and just hope it just stays over there, make it go away, just make it go away. And then,
so you were just paying people not to.
Because they would have had videoed things or whatever and had stuff over me, so that was kind of held hostage, and that's a bad feeling. But again, that's not what I led with. I just led with, all right, people talked about this and this thing and whatever, and so I just need to be free of that, and then see how the world feels if people know that stuff. Because I've written a story all these years about, oh, geez, if I ever reveal that, then this has to be how I'd be dealt with, how I'd be treated, how they'd feel.
In 2015, Sheen publicly revealed that he was HIV positive.
That was a tremendous relief. That felt like, okay, all right, there's that. Now I can focus on some other things.
That was 10 years ago.
That was 2015. You're right.
So how you feeling now?
I feel pretty good.
Sheen says he stopped using drugs in 2015 and that he has now been completely sober for nearly 8 years.
What was the final straw?
It was, my body was starting to reject it. I talk about that in the book, literally like turning inside out. That was a mess.
Your kids.
Yeah.
Cassandra, you were 19.
Yeah.
You had her with your high school sweetheart. And then you have the 2 daughters, Sammy, who's 21, Lola's 20 with Denise.
Yeah.
And you have twin sons, Bob and Max. With Brooke. Yeah. How have your relationship with your children evolved as your sobriety has evolved over the last 8 years you've been sober?
We have relationships, and we have legitimate ones, and they really have nothing to do with anything that I do for a living. Because, up to a certain age, kids have no interest. Well, you probably know. They don't care about, what your ratings are.
They just want a father.
Yeah.
Your daughter, Sammy, she's spoken about a rift between you two.
Yes.
How's your relationship these days?
You know, I feel like as long as everybody's still in the game, there's always a shot for better tomorrow, you know?
Yep.
I don't really know what I did. That's the problem. I don't know what I'm supposed to yet apologize for, but I have absolute faith that it's not a forever thing, and her and I will work it out. You know, we have a history of that. That's too valuable to let a you know, some moment destroy all of that. Yeah.
The book is called The Book of Sheen. It's the first title he came up with and never changed. He tried to find new ones that were better, but he said this one just fit. It is out on Tuesday. We're going to have much more of my interview with Charlie on Monday, and he's going to share, you know, other parts of his past, so he's kept a secret. And he's going to talk about his long career.
He gave really thoughtful answers.
Yeah, very thoughtful, very honest and open, George, and they have the book and the documentary, and they are really riveting, really amazing.
You covered a lot of terrain there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, let me share screen again. So speaking now, Charlie Sheen reveals he had sex with men in new doc and calls male encounters weird but fun. The actor, who is HIV positive, said his sexual encounters with men started when he began smoking crack cocaine. Okay. Charlie Sheen has gotten vulnerable with his fans and opened up about his past sexual encounters with men in 2 upcoming projects. The actor is preparing to release his new memoir, The Book of Sheen, as well as a Netflix documentary, aka Charlie Sheen. Charlie 60 gave fans a glimpse at what he discussed in both this week's People cover, including his sexual history with men. I'm not going to run from my past or let it own me, the 2.5-man star told the outlet. He also said in the documentary that he's coming forward for the first time about his intimate past with men, and it feels like a weight off of his shoulders. Liberating. It's effing liberating to just talk about stuff. It's like a train didn't come through the side of the restaurant. A effing piano didn't fall out of the sky. No one ran into the room and shot me, Charlie added. Addiction struggles. The hot stars didn't skirt past the subject during his appearance on Good Morning America on Friday either. He revealed that he was a sexual encounters with the opposite sex begin when he was using crack. That's what started it, Charlie shared. That's where it was born or sparked. And in whatever chunks of time that I was off the pipe, trying to navigate that, trying to come to terms with it, where did that come from? Why did it happen? And just finally being like, so what? So what? Some of it was weird. A lot of it was effing fun. And life goes on. He also admitted that he was a sex addict and was extorted by his sexual partners at the peak of his addiction. Charlie was a known addict throughout much of his career, though it wasn't until his late years on TV he and his drug issues gained national attention. The Wall Street star at one point contracted HIV, which he long tried to keep under wraps, until finally coming clean with his diagnosis in 2015 on the Today Show. I do know for a fact that I never passed it on, he assured. Fast forward a decade and Charlie is working on his Hollywood redemption, pulling back the curtain on what actually happened in his drug-filled days. However, the movie star revealed he's not playing the victim card by airing his dirty laundry in his new book and documentary. It takes 2 to tango, he said. Although he does wish he could turn back time on some of his past media experiences, mainly his 2020 interview where he claimed to have tiger blood in his veins and his subsequent speaking tour. I'm not going to run from my past or let it own me. The tour didn't have to happen, Charlie confessed. I'm not a victim, but somebody should have tapped out for me and said, this is a bad idea. I've been combed through all the mental health manuals, and I never found exploitation as a good treatment protocol. A new man. Now, 8 years sober, Charlie has finally gotten his life on a good course and is enjoying his single status, which he said he has maintained for some time. However, the anger management star is open to love again, following his splits from ex-wife Denise Richards, 54, and Brooke Muller, 48, but doesn't anticipate getting married. Available to stream starting September 10th. So that's all next week. Listen, he told his truth. He said he didn't pass the disease on to anybody else. So I guess, he's using protection. Savannah, your thoughts? And I wonder, he came out in 15 and said he had it. I wonder how long he had it though. Savannah, your thoughts?
I don't think he's told his whole truth, because Charlie didn't mention anything about the DV situations that he was involved in when it came to most of the women that he dated, from Denise to Brooke to there were several instances where he was charged with DV. And Diva, if you remember, John Travolta's ex-wife, the one that passed away, Kelly, he had pow-powed her in the arm when they were dating. Remember that scandal that happened? Oh God, right, Callie? He pow-powed her because he's been heavy on substances, and Charlie did everything that there was and then some. So I don't think he's telling all his full truth. And at your big old age, I think you need to focus more on repairing the relationships with your children, because the Denise's girls aren't the only ones that are going through some growing pains, and we'll just put it there. But he has been absent from their life for quite some time. So I've always said that him and Robert Downey Jr., who also battled years of strong addictions, they were like cats. They have 9 lives. They bounce back, and it's just, no matter what they did, they were, because I recall on a couple of occasions that he had OD'd at some point, once or twice as well. So Charlie's been run through some gauntlet and gambit, but he needs to talk about his whole truth and how he abused women during this decade or more of being addicted to not only the adult industry, but to almost every substance that was out there known to man.
Oh, thanks, Savannah. You know, the entertainment industry is dark. But and it's funny because even with this University of Kentucky student, nobody's calling her monster for having a baby wrapped in a towel in a closet, this, that, and the other. But and I say that to say, he did, now to know, like, I didn't remember about the DV stuff. But this is all the blueprint, which I call the Diddy blueprint. It is really no difference. There's DV, okay? There's the hiring of the workers. There's the substances. Messy. And trust and believe, if a diagnosis of HIV came out for Diddy, the people would be falling in the streets and really trying to burn him at the cross. Julius, your thoughts?
I guess this is the year of memoirs. Okay, then. I guess it's just his time to share his memoir. I'm going to leave him alone and let him share his memoir.
Thank you, Julius. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. I really liked him and his brother in the movie called Young Guns. His brother was Billy the Kid, Emilio Estevez, and his dad. I'm a great fan of his dad, Martin Sheen. But this man had people bringing suitcases of the cocaine to his house. He was getting it in. The man was bringing it to him like every other day. Like, he was getting suitcases of the cocaine bringing into his house. And if I'm not mistaken, I think a woman did file a lawsuit against him because she found out that he was HIV positive and didn't tell her. Um,
I do remember that.
so yeah, she, that part. And then girl with that winning, that little promotion, whatever that one man show he was doing, and the Tiger Blood, and he was a hot tail mess. And then he was making bank off of 2.5 million. This man was making a lot of money, a lot of money. And when them substance gets to you, you don't see anything but that. Cause look how much money he lost off of on that. And maybe that's a good thing. If he say he's sober now, maybe he needed to lose that income at that point in time to sit back and result and focus on his life. Because like Savannah said, he did have a plenty of occasions of ODing. And then he had women on women on women on women. And Denise, she used to take and partake with him too. She was something out there too. But she got out of it, which was a good thing. But anyway, um I hope he put everything in his book because the man was a good actor. He is a good actor.
Yes,
So
for sure. For
yeah,
sure.
he's a good actor. And I mean, him and his brother and their dad. So I hope he's still sober. I hope he's getting help because everybody falls short sometimes. Sometimes you just got to pull yourself back up and go in the right direction because nobody's perfect. Everybody got a vice out there. You just got to pick the right one. That's all I got.
Yeah. You know what, Val? I do remember this now. It's all coming back to me. Plus, he and Brooke were drugging together after they had the twins, and the niece took them in. She sure did. They could not take care of their own kids due to the drug use. Yes, it was very dark times. Very dark times. I do remember that. It's coming back to me now. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, congratulations on being 8 years sober.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great thing. However, those memoirs are for you. Definitely not for us.
Mm-hmm.
I heard enough from this little interview with what you call him. I heard enough that I don't need to buy your book. We just went through a trial with Diddy a month ago or whatever. Why would we want to read the same stuff we just saw? And had to, you know, for however many weeks we went through that. So Charlie, yeah, I'm glad you're sober, and I wish you well. But that's about it. I mean, what is he adding? He sure ain't adding nothing to my life. This happens all the time. That's it.
Callie, your thoughts?
Well, ever since this Diddy thing has been going on, I've been screaming, what about Charlie Sheen from day one? And there's more to that story. Denise actually had to give those kids up because they were abusing her kids because those kids were just that messed up by the time she got them.
Woo!
So, yeah. And, you know, her daughters are a little strange. One of them is fanatically religious. The other one is on OnlyFans and doesn't speak to her father at all. And the other one is sitting there having dinner with her father at the restaurant where she works. So, and now Denise is in another DV situation where they're suing each other. But yeah, everybody's right. There was DV and pow-powing, and with every woman that has been anywhere around him, he had, I don't even want to say accusations because there was actual proof of things far worse than what Diddy has done. In admitting to doing the same exact crimes. He had these workers living in his house, these two workers living in his house with him, and was running around talking about they were goddesses. It was like,
yeah, the two blondes,
stuff
the two blonde girls.
has been doing. Yes. And nobody is sitting up here talking about he needs to be in jail for the rest of his life. He's a monster. I hope he passes away in jail. This cartoon hate that people have for Diddy when there's someone like him running around in the public eye, I do not understand how we got here. And I'm not even like this huge Diddy fan, but in a way, I'm almost glad he's coming out with this stuff so that people can see it's somebody right in front of your eyes. The reruns are still airing on TV every single day of this man who was doing far worse and said he was doing it out of his own mouth. But yet you have no smoke for him. There are people still to this day saying that Diddy should get life in prison. What? Like this is only thing I can think of is that it's a combination of people not wanting to accept that Diddy's not powerful the way they thought he was, and racism. That's all I could see. I just don't understand why there's no smoke for Charlie Sheen. There has been some other allegations against him too that didn't have any proof. I don't know if those were true. I'm not gonna repeat that stuff. But I mean, this has been going on for decades with this crazy man.
And another thing, he just sat up there on TV and said that he was buying the pros from, or he was getting from Hottie Flights. And then he said, well, that's just something what they know. But I had some on the outside that they don't know about. He just up there and admitted that he was paying for prostitutes. He's a judge, so why he ain't locked up?
Yeah, and I believe Hottie Flights was in Vegas. I'm sure some of those women were coming from Vegas.
Hottie Flights wasn't no joke.
I can almost promise you that some of those women were coming across Nevada, California state line.
Heck yeah. Because she wasn't no joke. She was running. She was actually running it. If that book would have came out, it was more than his name was in that book. But he the one came out and testified. So he testified against her, so he wouldn't get no time. But she had a lot of names up in that book, a lot of names. And this man said he spent what, 50,000. That's just what he said. How much she charged. So ain't no telling how much them little two blonde ladies that was staying with him in the house, how much they was getting up out of him. And then
she
he out of his
ain't
mind
give up
too.
that one name.
You know what I'm saying? He out of his mind too. Ain't no telling how much money he was writing out to these people. He all cracked up or cocaine down. Child, ain't no telling what he was doing. Because when you on that cocaine, you up all night. So, child, please, he done paid a lot of money. He done paid out a lot of money. But I'm sorry, D, I ain't mean to cut in, but that's all I got.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting. Cheryl said Diddy is a disgrace to the black race. I don't, I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, how did this man become public enemy number one when, let's be clear, we saw the video with Cassie getting beat, but there are women in their house right now getting beat by their man and they ain't leaving either.
Also, these men that were running around here being pimps and calling women out of their names and all of this stuff, they're not disgraces to black people. And Jay-Z
in that pastor,
all of these rappers,
and that pastor that stole all that money that got arrested last week, that's what I was saying.
That's a disgrace to the black race right there, right? And literally people saying he wasn't going to feed them unless they met a quota. Then he was giving out his money left and right.
Cassie was literally enslaving people.
Literally enslaving people. Listen, I think there's a lot of people that could be a disgrace to the black race. I'm not saying Diddy is or is not, but I don't think he's at the top of nobody's list. When this, you heard this man said right there out of his own mouth, he said, I don't think I gave nobody HIV. So you been had it though, right? And you only 8 years sober. And when people are not sober, they don't make the best decisions at all. But you're trying to tell me that you wasn't sober, you had this situation, and you was making sure that you was being safe the whole time with everybody. You gotta miss me with the nonsense. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, he probably putting the condom on his thumb.
Can't do it.
He probably thought he was putting the condom on his penis. He was putting it on his thumb. Girl, that man was coked out of his mind. He was coked out of his mind. And like I said, I'm not a Diddy fan because, he did some crazy mess too. But the thing of it is, We have a lot of them out there and did some crazy mess, and they still pushing and doing crazy mess. Calling them bees, calling them this, sleeping with this woman, sleeping with that woman, flying the internet girls to their houses. When they get there, they don't want to give them, they throw them out. So we got a lot of rappers that did this.
But how about this, Gigi? I was going to say more, but you know what? I need to say no more because you called it right there. Your commander in chief. Okay. But
King Kankles.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and roll into this last story with this cheerleader. And you know, it's interesting. I have yet to see an article about her that's calling her anything out of her name. She's a cheerleader. She was on a stunt team. You know, she went home to be with her family. She dropped out of college. Nobody said the girl should have got kicked out of college. She dropped out on her own, I guess. But before she dropped out, nobody was saying she should have got kicked out or kicked off the team or none of that. Nobody asked where the boyfriend was. Now this article, I'm about to tell you that they won DNA test from the boyfriend. But nobody has said nothing crazy and out of the way about this girl in terms of a written article. I don't care. As soon as they bring an article up with Diddy's name, it's always disgrace mobile, all kinds of other stuff. But this girl has a baby that was wrapped up in the closet in a garbage bag. Not even in an endearing way. In a trash bag. And nobody got no problems. You want to disgrace, and I don't care what nobody say, the guy that took the life of the CEO from the healthcare. He out there in the Metropolitan Center too, and they're treating him like he a whole hero. But let me go ahead.
And don't forget about the bastard. I mean, about the man that impregnated that little 10-year-old.
That part.
Oh, that is so sick. Yeah.
Let me see. Let's play this one here.
Sorry for the curse word, y'all.
I do want to get into some of the big stories that we are covering today here on Live Now, and viewer discretion is advised for this one. The cause of death remains inconclusive for a newborn who investigators say was hidden in a closet by a University of Kentucky student athlete. The coroner's office in Lexington, Kentucky, confirming that the autopsy on the male infant was completed, but the findings were inconclusive. Lexington police arrested the infant's 21-year-old mother, who you see there, Lakin Snelling, after detectives say the baby was found dead, wrapped in a towel inside a trash bag tucked away in a closet. Snelling is charged with evidence tampering, concealing the birth of an infant, and abuse of a corpse. A spokesperson for the University of Kentucky confirms Snelling is on the school's stunt team, described as a, quote, head-to-head competition between two teams that focuses on the technical and athletic aspects of cheer. Again, viewer discretion advised here as the story is disturbing. I do want to bring in Dan Garrell, the founder and managing attorney over at Next Law, to talk much more about this. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, first off, I do want to ask you about those autopsy results, because as of right now, the coroner there in Fayette County, Kentucky, saying that they are inconclusive. How does that factor in as the legal process does play out here?
Sure. Well, that being the case, and whether or not there's continued examination that happens, but without conclusive autopsy results, prosecutors are going to have a difficult time proving the cause and manner of how the baby died. So, it sounds as though right now they're pursuing charges of concealing a birth and abuse of a corpse, things of that nature. Those are certainly much lower level felony charges than a homicide charge. If the prosecution were to seek to prove something higher up like homicide, the defense trial strategy would likely be to argue that the evidence is insufficient to prove any intent or culpability as far as the death of the child itself. So, you got to remember, it's the prosecutor's burden to prove guilt. Lakin doesn't have to prove she's innocent. She doesn't really have to prove anything.
And in a case like this, you kind of touched on it, but what types of evidence do investigators typically rely on, from medical records, witness statements? What will prosecutors actually need to prove?
Well, those are two of the most critical forms of evidence. Witness statements, including the statements made by Lakin herself, and it does appear that she has given a statement, that she's admitted that she gave birth. It doesn't. It's unclear whether she's given any other details beyond that regarding the state of the child, if she believed the child was born alive or what have you. But again, the evidence that's going to be key here. Other witness statements, if any, the medical records, obviously, the autopsy results themselves, and a forensic examination of the crime scene, the closet and the blanket that the baby was found wrapped in. All of that is going to be critical as far as the estate's evidence is concerned.
And when you are talking about a case like this, again, you kind of touched on it, but you're talking about a newborn and you have these inconclusive results there. What makes this case maybe challenging for investigators?
They're just going to go back and forth, so to speak. And I do believe also that they know the cause of death. And let me see. And let me just show you this. They are asking for DNA from the boyfriend. So an ex-boyfriend of the University of Kentucky cheerleader, they looking to get a DNA sample, wanting to see if it matches the baby boy. And the father of the ex-boyfriend really didn't want to speak. And that's one of the ex-boyfriends too. Savannah, your thoughts?
I've been saying it from day one, how the media, the print media and the mainstream media, not social media. Social media has been giving it to her as she well deserves, but the print media and mainstream media have portrayed her as if she's not an adult. This is a 21-year-old female adult. So she should be described and listed exactly as she is, as a suspect, a perpetrator, a emmer. I think she should, but because of the area and because of blonde hair, blue eyes, she is, a cheerleader and University of Kentucky student, although she dropped out. I think there's a lot that we're not getting from this story. Who found the infant in the closet? Did she tell someone? How were the authorities led to the closet? Because she had to have given birth, cleaned up, wrap this wrap the infant in towels and all the afterbirth and all that, and then place it in the trash bag, and then she went on with her life. Because in the article it said that the authorities had to find her, interrogate her, and then she confessed to giving birth. So there's a lot that we're not getting about this story, and I don't know why, and why they're portraying her as not guilty of causing harm to this infant, to her own child, and then just charging her with minor charges, abusing of a corpse that should get her at least 10 years. But I don't think that, she's at home with her parents with no ankle monitor. So I'm not understanding why this, why the judges allowed her to walk free. Her family's not a prominent family in the community. It's just regular hardworking family, but they are well known. So I don't know what ties. There's something here we're not getting, and I really hope that the state of Kentucky, but because of the AB laws again, she might just get a slap on the wrist. And I don't buy the inconclusive findings on the autopsy. You can tell whether this infant had breath in their lungs or not. So I think that it'll dominate our news for another week or so, and I hope that they do charge her with something.
And maybe the boyfriend too, once they determine who the father is by this DNA test. But I do think they know the results of this autopsy and they're just not saying. Julius, your thoughts?
The fact that they are looking for DNA of the fraternal side tells me that they're getting ready to bring charges. They just need that last puzzle piece. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me mind my business and let them get that last puzzle piece.
I agree. Katrina, your thoughts?
Okay. I know people get tired of us comparing white against black on this channel, which we don't do. We just bring the facts. But remember, what was her name? Was it Brittany Watts? The woman that had a miscarriage in her bathroom and she didn't know that she delivered her baby and they got her for uh, uh, what do you call it when they with the corpse or something like that, and they arrested her. They arrested this girl, and they was finna send her away. And then they got documents saying that she didn't know that she delivered the baby in the toilet, but the abuse of a course, that's what it was. And they arrested her. They was finna send this girl away, and it wasn't because she didn't go. She went to the hospital. She told them. They tried to induce her whatsoever. They wouldn't listen to what she was saying. And the girl ended up having a miscarriage. But yet still, this child right here went, well, this young girl, this young lady, went in there and had birth. And then you didn't even think enough of your child. You wrapped her up in a towel and put it in a closet in a bag. My dear God, girl, what is wrong with you? This is sick on so many levels. You didn't take. I mean, if you didn't want the child, and I know with the abortion rights and stuff with the AB rights they got in here now, and like I said, we're gonna see a lot more of this. But for the fact that you put your child in the closet, and why would you put it in the closet? Why you just didn't try to go bury it or do something? You didn't care as long as you. And then who helped you with this delivery? Because how we know everything came out, the placenta and all that got to come out. So who helped you did all this and you wasn't bleeding nowhere around? This is just sick and nasty on so many levels. And I think she should get the same justice what they tried to do to this black girl. But that's all I got.
Thanks, Katrina. Wayne?
Yeah, I thought something like that was, clear cut. It's always been, when a woman like they found the child in a dumpster or something like that, and they arrest the parent, that association, they know that that's this person's baby, and it would just automatically be M. I don't know what's so special, but I think because of the area, I think in a couple of weeks you won't hear anything else about this. I think it'll be swept under the carpet.
Yeah, because they seem like they're trying to sweep it under now. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't hear much about this. If anything, she'll be made the poster child for the reason why we need to have reinstate women's rights to terminate. That's the only thing I see happening from this situation, if anything. I don't think anything's really going to be done to this girl. We'll see. She might serve a little time. I doubt it. But I think that they're going to probably take her and basically make her a martyr. But in my opinion, this is an adult who could have gone to another state. She could have gone to Mexico. There are many things that she could have done. She could have left the baby at a fire station if it was alive. We don't even know if it was born alive. This is sociopathic behavior. Let's just call it what it is. And this is a person who probably shouldn't be out in society, but will be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. But the thing is, she is on bail, but like everyone's saying, her charges are not that serious. So it doesn't really seem like she's going, you know what I mean? If she's going away for a long time, it just doesn't even seem like that's really on the table. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens if we hear anything more about this story.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We're going to hear more. We'll hear about when the DNA results come back. Because I do feel like somebody had to help her, but time will tell. Listen, guys, y'all know the routine. If y'all didn't hit that like button on the way in, do the Diva a favor, hit it on the way out. Thanks for spending, this late night Friday with me. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo, choo, choo.